Sí, Adeline.
Kiria Lam Valdés es profesora del Departamento de Didáctica en el Centro Regional Universitario de Coclé, Universidad de Panamá. Es licenciada y profesora en español. Tiene posgrado en docencia superior, curso postbásico en lengua y literatura española, maestría en educación con énfasis en didáctica, maestría en entornos virtuales de aprendizaje, maestría en informática educativa, maestría en tecnologías de la información y comunicación aplicada a la educación. Ha brindado asesoría técnica para Meduca, BID, SICA y SENACI.
Ok. Con ustedes, Kiria Lam Valdés.
Buenos días, estimados profesores Juliana, estudiantes de la Escuela de Inglés. Le agradezco a la oportunidad, a la coordinación del espacio que me da para compartir unos minutitos nada más del vasto tema que conlleva la didáctica en este caso, que sería como establecer una especie de plataforma eh, para después ir profundizando en otras cosas. En virtud de que generalmente los egresados de la escuela de inglés, su campo laboral se fundamenta precisamente en la docencia. Y es claro que en el plan de estudio o en el programa de estudios de la carrera no incluyen materias de educación como para ir haciendo paralela a la formación tanto en el uso de la lengua como en cómo yo enseño a otro ser humano a que aprenda eh, una lengua que no es la nuestra. Entonces, ha sido un poco el objetivo de hacer planteamientos de tipo general, porque eso es un mundo, ¿verdad? Intentando de ir creando tal vez una base teórica para la comprensión posterior de por qué es tan necesaria la didáctica dentro del aula de clase. Bien. El nombre de la conferencia la hemos denominado la didáctica y la enseñanza. Un poco para centrarnos realmente en lo que es didáctica y terminaríamos haciendo una referencia frente a la relación que existe una con otra. En ese sentido, vamos como a verlo en esta primera diapositiva como a forma de o a manera de introducción, entender que el abordaje de la concepción didáctica de la universidad infiere que se considere los cambios de la sociedad contemporánea está afrontando. Ese es uno de los fundamentos interesantes e importantes dentro de la didáctica, que el enmarque de ella tiene que ser dentro de un contexto social, dentro de lo que está pasando alrededor nuestro, ¿verdad? De las necesidades de la sociedad misma, tiene que estar concatenado, tiene que responder a lo que la sociedad necesita, tiene que responder a lo que el participante desea. Es muy probable que en genérico nosotros podemos establecer que a veces no hay una relación de lo que el estudiante va a buscar al aula de clase con lo que la educación le provee. Entonces, es importante establecer esto como una base para hacer la reflexión posterior de cómo lo hago para poder que eso cumpla con lo que necesita la sociedad y las aspiraciones de los estudiantes. Bien. En ese sentido, hay mucha teoría, hay muchísima teoría frente a esta situación y se fundamentan, por ejemplo, en conceptos generales. Y en esos conceptos generales se enfoca la didáctica o se engloba como una base teórica dentro de arte, ciencia y técnica. ¿Por qué hablamos de que es arte? Entonces, vemos la definición de la Real Academia de la Lengua que dice que arte es la capacidad o habilidad para hacer algo. Como docentes, se fundamenta perfectamente en la parte del arte en virtud de que nosotros tenemos que ver cómo programamos, configuramos, ideamos, visualizamos la creación de una planificación de una clase para poder lograr el objetivo deseado. Eso significa definitivamente talento, ingenio, facultad, aptitud, condición, disposición, inspiración, destreza. Fíjense la amplitud de este significado, ¿verdad? Práctica, experiencia, maestría. Uno dice, esa profesora tiene una maestría para enseñar, por ejemplo, lengua oral. A veces uno no se especializa en todo. Uno tiene mayores fortalezas en una que en otra. Entonces, le es muy fácil configurar una clase que usted puede decir, bueno, con esta clase yo voy a lograr que los estudiantes hablen. Entonces, por eso es que en el tema de la didáctica tenemos que tener claro qué es el arte. ¿Qué es la manifestación humana mediante el cual se interpreta lo real o se plasma lo imaginado con recursos lingüísticos o sonoros? Quiere decir entonces que el docente se puede apoyar tanto en su experticia, en su destreza, en su habilidad, como en otros recursos que son importantes para poder llegar a la consecución de ese objetivo. Entonces, tenemos claro que definitivamente dentro del aula tenemos que ser artistas, artistas en la planificación de cosas. Se entiende también que es una ciencia. ¿Por qué una ciencia? En este campo se fundamenta la aspiración, la necesidad del hombre de vivir en sociedad. Y ese deseo de vivir en sociedad lleva al ser humano a conocer, a explicarse racionalmente el mundo que los rodea, los fenómenos relacionados a lo que ocurre en su entorno. Entonces, es muy conocido, por ejemplo, las respuestas que le da el hombre al por qué se le caen las hojas al árbol. Entonces, producto de esa investigación, empieza él a darle respuesta a todas las cosas. En el campo de la actividad humana, es la investigación científica y lo que resulta de esa investigación científica, de esa es el producto, es el conocimiento científico. Entonces, ¿por qué ciencia en el tema de la tecnología? Porque hay toda una historia de cómo el estudiante aprende, cuáles son las mejores técnicas, qué puedo yo hacer, qué estrategia, qué método es el más indicado para poder que yo logre los objetivos que me he propuesto. Y en ese sentido hay un sinnúmero de métodos, el método inductivo, el método deductivo, el método ecléptico, el método de proyectos, el método científico, el método de la resolución de problemas y por ahí nos vamos. Entonces, todos esos métodos han surgido de la necesidad de resolver un problema, que en ese caso se realiza a través de la investigación. En este caso nuestro, en investigación en el aula o investigación etnográfica, que definitivamente tiene su base en la investigación científica, pero que estudia los fenómenos que ocurren dentro del aula de clase. Es decir, yo como docente digo, ¿por qué los estudiantes no pudieron lograr el objetivo que yo me planifiqué en esta clase? Entonces se empiezan a buscar las respuestas. De allí que también tenemos que verlo, la didáctica como una ciencia. Y también es técnica, también asociado a la técnica, a la tecnología, porque responde al deseo y a la voluntad del hombre de transformar su entorno. ¿Eso qué quiere decir? Una vez que a mí, ¿verdad? La ciencia me dijo, hay toda una teoría, porque producto de la observación pude darme cuenta de esto, de esto, de esto. Entonces, ¿cómo yo hago para resolver ese problema? ¿Qué tengo que hacer? ¿Dónde tengo que modificar mi actuar dentro del aula de clases para que yo pueda lograr el objetivo que me planifiqué? Entonces, ahí hay que tomar en cuenta muchas variables que pueden ser dependientes, independientes o que pueden entrar a intervenir en el momento. Y eso lo veremos entonces cuando veamos todo el entorno. Pero aquí, ¿qué significa eso? Que hay que satisfacer las necesidades tanto del estudiante como del docente o del sistema educativo. Porque el sistema educativo se planifica con un modelo educativo. Cuando nosotros como docentes vamos al aula de clase, nosotros no vamos a oscuras. Nosotros vamos referenciados por un modelo educativo. ¿Qué es lo que el Estado panameño perfila que quiere que su población desarrolle, qué competencia desarrolle su población? Y en función de eso nosotros tenemos que planificar clases. Nosotros tenemos que diseñar actividades conducentes al logro de esos objetivos que son los más macros, que son los fines de la educación, y que se van desdoblando hasta llegar a los objetivos de aula o de clase. En este caso, vemos que hay una relación, una estrecha relación, una concatenación de ideas dentro de lo que es arte, ciencia y tecnología, ¿verdad? Entonces, una vez terminado o planteado esa situación de estos conceptos generales, podemos entonces irnos a mirar cómo se puede iniciar específicamente lo que es el desarrollo de la didáctica con su definición etimológica, que quiere decir que viene del griego didaktike, que quiere decir arte de enseñar. Entonces, ahí viene la relación, si ustedes se dan cuenta con esto que les comenté inicialmente como arte, ciencia y técnica o tecnología, desde antes del siglo medio ya se estaba hablando de que es el arte de enseñar. La palabra didáctica fue empleada por primera vez en el 629 por Radke en sus principales monismos didácticos. Eso quiere decir que es un término utilizado desde la Edad Media. Vámonos entonces a la definición actual, que ha sufrido, que no les he comentado todas las modificaciones que ha subido de qué ha sido sujeto el término a través de las investigaciones que se han hecho por diferentes corrientes conductistas, constructivistas, ¿verdad? Sino que de inicios al arte de enseñar nos venimos entonces a la época contemporánea de cómo se concibe la didáctica en el siglo XX o final del siglo XX, principios del siglo XXI, todavía no muy definido, y se concibe como el estudio de un conjunto de recursos técnicos que tienen por finalidad dirigir el aprendizaje del alumno, con el objeto de llevarlo a alcanzar un estado de madurez que le permita encarar la realidad de manera consciente, eficiente y responsable para actuar en ella como un ciudadano participante y responsable. Fíjense lo abarcador que es esta definición de la didáctica. Y eso definitivamente que nos da luces a los docentes de lo que nosotros debemos planificar o cómo nosotros debemos planificar nuestras clases para poder que una vez que los estudiantes egresen, fíjense que nosotros tenemos el perfil de ingreso y el perfil de egreso. Y, por ejemplo, en los programas de la Universidad de Panamá, están en todos los programas, están muy bien tipificado cuál es el perfil de ingreso y cuál es el perfil de egreso, que está relacionado definitivamente con el modelo educativo de la Universidad de Panamá y eso que es el objetivo a más largo plazo. Entonces, es importante detenernos aquí porque es lo primero que tiene que tener el docente claro y el estudiante, porque nosotros como docentes tendríamos que establecer una especie de contrato, ¿verdad? En donde ponemos todos los aspectos que nos gustaría considerar dentro del proceso de enseñanza-aprendizaje desde sus tres dimensiones, desde la dimensión conceptual, desde la dimensión procedimental y desde la dimensión actitudinal. Que eso nunca puede, está al mismo nivel, está en horizontalidad. Quiere decir que los tres aspectos o las tres dimensiones tienen el mismo valor dentro del aula de clase y es necesario considerarlo al momento de la planificación de las clases. Fíjense, si usted dice aquí, ven ahí, la finalidad de dirigir el aprendizaje del alumno con el objeto de llevarlo a un estado de madurez que le permita encarar la realidad de manera consciente y eficiente. ¿Eso qué quiere decir? Que una vez que la planificación de las clases, que el enfoque que se le dé a cada una de las actividades que los estudiantes realicen, tienen que ser llevados al saber hacer, al saber actuar, al saber convivir, está concatenado con todas esas cosas, porque tiene que tener un sentido el aprendizaje. Tiene que tener un sentido. Usted le dice, bueno, yo necesito, por ejemplo, pongámoslo en el caso de la comunicación oral. Yo necesito desarrollar destrezas de comunicación oral porque como docente de lengua yo necesito permanentemente estar hablando, conversando, participando, preguntando, reflexionando, analizando en forma oral. Y eso me va definitivamente a llevar al logro de un perfil de egreso. Es decir, se infiere que al final todo estudiante de la licenciatura en inglés tiene que tener la capacidad de comunicación en lengua inglesa. Es impensable que se gradúen de una licenciatura en inglés y que al final del camino no puedan comunicarse, por lo menos en la lengua oral, No hablemos de la lengua escrita, que es un poco más complicada, ¿verdad? Por la gramática. Pero normalmente la lengua hablada es mucho más, debería, en términos de lengua materna, debería ser mucho más fácil la adquisición. Porque además nos apoyamos de todo lo que es la comunicación kinestésica, que hace que el mensaje pueda llegar con más claridad. Entonces entendemos pues que la didáctica es un conjunto de recursos técnicos para dirigir el aprendizaje. Vamos entonces a ver, dentro de lo que es el proceso, hay características importantes que tienen que ser tomadas en consideración para que el acto educativo tenga mucha, se logre eficientemente. Entonces ahí tenemos que la didáctica es una ciencia práctica de intervención y transformadora de la realidad. ¿Qué significa eso? Desde que se habló de la escuela nueva frente a lo que era la escuela tradicional, que la escuela tradicional era una escuela repetitiva, en donde el estudiante tenía que aprender o memorizar todo, ¿verdad? Todo era de memoria y era repetitivo, y si no te lo repetían exactamente igual, estaba mal. Entonces, ¿qué dice la didáctica? No, es que hay que hacer camino al andar. La ciencia es práctica. ¿Cómo yo puedo hacer para que esta asignatura sea práctica? Si usted da el curso de conversación, usted tiene que conversar. No hay forma que desarrolles una habilidad o una destreza de conversación o de comunicación oral si no conversas. Y cuando hablamos de intervención, regresamos de nuevo a la investigación en el aula que me dice, ¿verdad? Producto de mi observación permanente con mi grupo, de ver cómo reaccionan positiva o negativamente a una técnica o a una estrategia que yo aplico en el aula, me doy cuenta de cuál es el problema. Entonces yo tengo que intervenir, ¿verdad? Intervenir haciendo los ajustes necesarios, tanto en la utilización del método como en la utilización de la estrategia o de la técnica para poder resolver ese problema. Quiere decir que nosotros inmediatamente tenemos que reprogramar e intervenir para resolver un problema. Y en esa resolución de problemas y en ese enfoque práctico, definitivamente que transformamos una realidad. Porque dejamos a un lado las prácticas de educación tradicional y entramos a la vanguardia con métodos más activos en el saber hacer. Entonces, ahí se ve entonces la visión artística, tecnológica y científica, que si ustedes se ponen a ver, nos referimos a los tres conceptos que vimos anteriormente, que hablaba de arte, ciencia y técnica, van concatenados o de la mano con eso. Entonces, en la visión artística, dice, la didáctica requiere de habilidades de sus agentes. Cuando hablamos de agentes, hablamos de todos los que intervienen en el proceso. Y en el proceso, sus agentes son el docente y el estudiante. Entonces, ¿qué quiere decir con eso? Que es importante que el docente, ¿verdad?, sea un docente innovador en los procesos reflexivos. ¿Cómo lo voy a hacer? ¿Qué puedo aplicar con este contenido para que yo logre los objetivos que yo me propongo como docente y que el sistema educativo panameño aspira para los estudiantes. Que al final, ¿verdad? ¿Cuál es la realidad? Si nosotros empezamos en el sistema educativo panameño, por ejemplo, a nivel de premedia y media, solo para la generalidad, porque no todas las escuelas primarias tienen acceso a un maestro de inglés, hay algunas. Pero si fuera así, por ejemplo, en una escuela que tuviera acceso desde el primer grado hasta el sexto año, serían 12 años dando inglés y no realmente no egresan con competencias, por lo menos genéricas o competencias básicas del uso ni de la comprensión ni de la conversación. Entonces, ¿qué está pasando allí? ¿Qué pasa allí? Si hay una capacitación por prácticamente 12 años. Eso es una actividad que habría que reflexionar. Y eso pasa igual con español, no es nada más con el inglés. El inglés lo asumimos de que, bueno, porque esa no es mi idea, esa no es mi lengua madre, pero ¿y el español? Que sí es nuestra lengua madre. Y definitivamente que, y ahí vienen cómo interviene la sociedad y cómo interviene los aspectos intervinientes de la sociedad. Y vemos entonces el uso de las redes sociales cómo ha terminado de despeñar el idioma nuestro. Los estudiantes, los chicos, la gente joven, incluso ahora hasta la gente vieja, ya está entrando en un subgénero, si se podría llamar así, del español en el lenguaje del chateo. Entonces se ha perdido la perspectiva. En el caso de la visión tecnológica, que nos refiere también a la anterior que habíamos comentado como técnica, es un conjunto de conocimientos, es compatible con la ciencia contemporánea y puede ser controlado por el método científico. Recuerden que todo lo que tiene que ver con la investigación parte del método científico. Los procesos didácticos son tecnológicos porque están provistos de un soporte científico o, en este caso, todo lo que las investigaciones han generado de teoría, como la teoría de Ausubel, de Vygotsky, que tienen toda una teoría desarrollada acerca de lo que es aprendizaje, de lo que es enseñanza, de cuáles son los métodos, cuáles son las técnicas, cuáles son las más apropiadas. Entonces, eso quiere decir que cada uno de estos aspectos que se han investigado a lo largo de los años, ¿verdad? Han sido escritos y han desarrollado toda una teoría que hace referencia a el porqué de las cosas. Entonces, ella se apoya en el conocimiento científico y de allí que exista tanta información. Y en el caso de la visión científica, que está concatenada con la demás, es el soporte definitivamente teórico-científico. Y ahí entran entonces la planificación, entran las teorías, entran los recursos, entran las estrategias, técnica, recursos, método, todo eso está concatenado, está unido, pero que son cosas que son diferentes. Entonces, la tendencia a pensar que una cosa es igual que la otra, y no es así. Y en esta visión científica, usted tiene la seguridad de por qué usted actúa de esa manera, porque hay un soporte técnico, porque hay un soporte de teoría que dice que esto es así. Por ejemplo, cuando usted dice, Yo voy a utilizar el método deductivo, o sea, la deducción, los llevo desde hacer actividades para que ellos vayan logrando hacer la deducción y lleguen a la respuesta ellos solos al final, pero les vamos dando paso. Entonces, ese método deductivo tiene pasos. ¿Cuáles son los pasos? Paso 1, paso 2, paso 3 y me lleva a este. Pero para poder yo llevar ese método a la deducción, tengo que usar una técnica. Y esa técnica, por ejemplo, necesita estrategias. Y esas estrategias tienen que estar unas relacionadas con la otra. Por ejemplo, si yo llego a la estrategia de síntesis, yo quiero que ustedes tengan un contenido X y se sintetice en los aspectos más relevantes. Entonces yo uso la estrategia, por ejemplo, que sea un mapa conceptual o un mapa mental, que estableciendo solo criterios básicos yo pueda tener una visión general en conjunto. El problema es que nosotros venimos con una falencia, una deficiencia a nivel de aula, que cuando usted dice sintetice, la gente sintetiza en párrafos y la síntesis tiene que ser en conceptos genéricos. Entonces, no logramos, al final, no logramos, ¿verdad? Ese objetivo porque no tenemos claro qué significa síntesis. Entonces, eso así a grosso modo un ejemplo de lo que nosotros nos encontramos en el aula de clase. Bien. Venimos entonces con el estudio, el objeto estudio de la didáctica. Tiene una visión bicotómica en donde se puede ver como objeto material y como objeto formal. Cuando nos referimos al objeto material de la didáctica, es al estudio del proceso, de cómo pasa el paso 1, paso 2, planificación, ¿verdad? Evaluación, verificación, todos esos pasos. Y el objeto formal, que es la prescripción de métodos y estrategias eficaces. Cuando nosotros hablamos de prescripción, es como si fuera la receta, ¿sí? Que usted tiene una fiebre y a usted le dan una receta. Bueno, para que se te quite la fiebre, te voy a dar acetaminofén y te voy a dar esta otra y tal. Esa es la prescripción. Entonces, ¿qué quiere decir esto? Que tiene que ver con el estudio de las interacciones entre docentes y estudiantes. Es decir, nosotros como docentes no podemos decir que tenemos un método o una técnica o una estrategia que es la aspirina que cura todo. No. La elección de método, la elección de técnica, la elección de estrategia tiene que ver con el entorno, tiene que ver con el estudiante, tiene que ver con muchísimos otros factores. Puede que usted dice, bueno, yo le apliqué esta estrategia a este grupo y me resultó fabuloso, todo el mundo lo entendió, todo el mundo participó, sacaron muy buenas calificaciones y voy al otro grupo y no tengo los mismos resultados. Entonces, para nosotros como docentes significaría tener un plan B siempre. Pero la verdad que nosotros como docentes sobre todo los docentes a nivel medio, yo nunca trabajé en media, ahí está la profesora Juliana que me dirá que sí o que no, es que los grupos son tan numerosos y les asignan tantos grupos que realmente la posibilidad de tener planes B son escasas. No sé si está de acuerdo conmigo, Juliana.
Sí, es correcto, correcto. Son grupos demasiado numerosos y son muchos en comparación
Claro,
a primaria, sí.
claro. Entonces, Hay veces que usted diseña una clase y le resulta muy bien, pero a veces no. Entonces usted tiene que decir, bueno, ¿qué hago, verdad? Entonces ahí es donde viene que la enseñanza se planifica de acuerdo a los planes de estudios, efectivamente, pero que no son un marco de hierro. Los planes siempre dan la posibilidad de que usted vaya adecuando. Y eso se va adecuando mediante la verificación de los aprendizajes. No hablemos de evaluación per se, sino verificación de aprendizaje con las actividades, ya sean de evaluación diagnóstica, de evaluación formativa o ya la final, ¿verdad? Entonces, ese es el objeto de estudio de la didáctica. Tiene que ver con eso, con la posibilidad de que yo estudie el proceso en general y después me vaya a las partes. Bien, en este sentido veíamos aquí que también tiene cuál es la finalidad de la didáctica genérica. Por un lado tiene una finalidad teórica y por el otro tiene una finalidad práctica. En el caso de la teórica, obviamente, se trata de conocer todo lo posible como objeto de estudio del proceso de enseñanza-aprendizaje. Se trata de describirlo de la mejor forma e incluso la interpretación de esos aspectos. Y eso hace que tenga la finalidad, o sea, tenga uno de los objetivos de la educación sea precisamente desarrollar toda una teoría de lo que pasa dentro del aula y cómo resolvemos los problemas de ellos. Que esas son las teorías que nosotros estamos trabajando con teorías de hace muchísimos años que han sido utilizadas por investigadores posteriores, pero que no hay una nueva, sino que han sido los enfoques de las escuelas y de las teorías de Ausubel, de Vygotsky. ¿Cuántos no vemos nosotros aquí dentro del aula de clase? Y nosotros en educación lo damos mucho, enseñamos a los maestros al uso de los métodos dentro del aula de clase y cómo es la aplicación. Entonces, ¿qué hace eso? Que nosotros bebamos de lo que son los clásicos, que en este caso son todo lo creado por Vygotsky, las inteligencias múltiples. ¿Cuántos no hablemos de ellas? ¿Verdad? ¿Y cuántas inteligencias no se han desarrollado a partir de las que inicialmente Garner propuso en su método? Entonces, quiere decir que, claro, la experiencia dentro del aula de clase ha hecho que otros investigadores, otros científicos partan de esa y vayan desarrollando otra. Ahora, definitivamente se iniciaron 5, mal no recuerdo, 5 inteligencias y ya vamos por más de 10. Entonces, que tienen que ser consideradas al momento de la planificación de las clases. Entonces, y la finalidad práctica en este caso, que es a transformar la realidad. Producto de la teoría, de lo que yo he encontrado allá, de cómo yo he podido resolver los problemas que tuve dentro del aula de clase, o con materias en específico, o con temas en específico. O sea, hay una serie, una variedad de cosas. ¿Cómo yo hago para transformar esa realidad? ¿Qué significa la transformación de la realidad? Es buscar los mecanismos, buscar la forma de llegar a mis estudiantes para que logren el conocimiento o logren los objetivos o la mejor forma de darle a conocer a nuestros estudiantes los contenidos o los temas a desarrollar. ¿Cómo solucionamos ese problema? Entonces, eso tiene que ver con la creatividad, tiene que ver con la motivación, y con un pocotón de factores que tendríamos que ir profundizando después mayormente en eso. Entonces, ya viéndolo aquí en una forma sintética, vemos que la didáctica es el arte de explicar y enseñar con un mayor número de recursos y que con esto el estudiante entienda y aprenda. Que tiene dos finalidades, una teórica, una práctica. La teórica es aumentar el conocimiento sobre el proceso de enseñanza-aprendizaje. Y la práctica es regular, dirigir el proceso de enseñanza-aprendizaje. Es decir, que yo necesito saber del proceso de enseñanza-aprendizaje, cuáles son las teorías, los recursos, no sé qué, y después cómo yo elijo cuál utilizar o cuál no utilizar. Bien. Siguiendo, entonces vemos aquí los objetivos de la didáctica. Que son muchísimos más, pero que yo solamente les he traído aquí para efectos de esta presentación, que no los quiero abrumar con tanto contenido. Llevar a cabo los propósitos de los cuales se conceptúe como educación. Y eso tiene que ver con lo que dice el modelo educativo de el sistema educativo panameño. En este caso, el de la escuela secundaria, y con el modelo educativo de la Universidad de Panamá en el caso nuestro. Otro de los objetivos que tiene la didáctica es hacer el proceso de enseñanza-aprendizaje más eficiente. Claro, como ya estuvimos hablando, ¿verdad? En las diapositivas anteriores, cómo la teoría, conocer todas las teorías, todos los recursos que hay, todas las estrategias, qué es una estrategia, cómo se aplica una estrategia, cuáles son las mejores estrategias, hay de síntesis, hay de análisis, hay de resolución de problemas, cómo yo puedo hacer. Eso me ayuda a que yo pueda tener una mejor posibilidad de escoger cuál es la más apropiada para un tema o para otro. Entonces, obviamente, eso va a hacer eficiente el proceso. Aplicar nuevos y más coherentes conocimientos a la enseñanza. Exactamente lo que acabo de decir. Orientar la enseñanza de acuerdo a la edad del alumno. Hablamos también hace un rato que cuando se define todo lo que son los métodos, conceptos, estrategias, técnicas, tiene que tener relación directa con el participante o los agentes, como decíamos anteriormente, agente, en este caso uno de los agentes, o igual protagonista de su propio aprendizaje del niño. Entonces, usted tiene que orientar la enseñanza y los modelos educativos y las estrategias en función de la edad y los intereses de ese niño. Entonces, por ejemplo, haciéndoles un ejemplo, mi hija Valeria está apoyando al primo en clases de inglés. El niño tiene 6 años, 7 años, no sé qué. Y ella todos los días piensa, ¿cómo hago para enseñarle esto a Gianluca? Y él está en un equipo de fútbol americano en Panamá. Y empezó, le decía, bueno, oye, Gianluca, yo te voy a tirar la pelota, o el ovoide en este caso, porque no es pelota, sino un ovoide. Y cuando yo te lanzo el ovoide, tú tienes que decirme cómo se dice esa palabra en inglés. Y el niño reaccionó fabulosamente. Al final de la clase le dice, vale, ¿tú crees que podemos hacerlo así todas las clases? ¿No? Obviamente, ahí está la motivación. Ahí están los intereses, porque como le gusta el fútbol americano, y ahí está atender, ¿verdad? La edad cronológica y edad mental, porque son dos edades. Nosotros podemos tener niños que tienen edad cronológica y que están muy por debajo de la edad, ¿verdad? En el tema de aprendizaje. Y puede ser el acto contrario. podemos tener niños que son muy chiquitos, pero que tienen una edad mental mucho más avanzada. Entonces usted tiene que ir mirando esas cosas y ir diseñando las actividades de acuerdo a todos esos factores que intervienen en el logro de los aprendizajes. Orientar la enseñanza a las posibilidades y necesidades del alumno. Es un poco lo que le decía. Las posibilidades son una cosa y las necesidades son otra. Es muy probable que las necesidades, en este caso, por ejemplo, del inglés, del aprendizaje del inglés, en un entorno rural sea diferente que en un entorno urbano. Y podemos hablar de urbano, porque nosotros somos un entorno urbano, pero no es igual este entorno urbano de Penonomé que el entorno urbano en Panamá. Entonces, todas esas cosas hay que tenerlas en cuenta, ¿no? De pronto, el entorno urbano va a ser más necesario porque hay más estimulación, hay más cosas en el ambiente que pueden tener el uso de un idioma, del idioma inglés. Hay muchas cosas, por ejemplo, en los equipos tecnológicos que vienen a veces nada más en inglés y usted tiene que aprender un poquito de eso, ¿no? Hablaba también y es importante, fíjense, en este contexto, el inspirar las actividades escolares en la realidad. Y es precisamente, por ejemplo, lo que los veía, les decía, por ejemplo, en este aspecto, sobre todo de la parte tecnológica, de la aplicación de tecnologías, sobre todo en TICs. Ya después de la pandemia, pues se modificaron muchas aplicaciones y se han abierto posibilidades de cambiarle el idioma español a otros idiomas, pero inicialmente venían solo, por ejemplo, en inglés. Y el que estaba interesado en eso tenía que definitivamente abocarse a buscar otras alternativas para la comprensión de las aplicaciones. Entonces, eso también tiene que inspirar. Orientar las actividades de aprendizaje para que los objetivos se logren, es como lo hemos estado diciendo, guiar la organización de los procesos de enseñanza, aprendizaje y evaluación y adecuar la enseñanza a la sociedad. Definitivamente que nosotros no podemos estar enseñando, y eso hay una historia de un artículo de un sociólogo, me parece, español del siglo X, del siglo pasado, que decía que enseñamos con planes del siglo pasado, con formación docente, planes del siglo XIX, con docentes del siglo XX, con estudiantes con necesidades del siglo XXI. Es decir, no había ninguna relación entre ninguno de los aspectos. Y eso precisamente se trata en la planificación, en la adecuación de los programas, de lo que realmente necesita el estudiante, cómo debe estar fundamentado o preparado ese profesor. Fíjense que es importante en este momento hablar de la necesidad de que todos los docentes seamos bilingües. Que eso sería definitivamente el ideal. Pero esa no es la realidad. Entonces, porque la necesidad de que el estudiante nuestro sea ahora bilingüe, que nosotros podamos tener la capacidad de dar la clase tanto en español como en inglés, el mismo contenido. Eso sería fabuloso, pero definitivamente que la mayoría de los docentes saldríamos del sistema. Y eso es un poco también importante para que ustedes reflexionen que no solamente ustedes tienen que hacerse expertos en el uso o en el aprendizaje de la lengua inglesa, sino también fortalecer su lengua materna, para que entonces ustedes realmente sean bilingües. Y por último, llevar el control del aprendizaje. Es decir, nosotros somos los llamados a ver dónde están las fortalezas, dónde están las debilidades, cómo puedo fortalecer esas debilidades y definitivamente magnificar la fortaleza. Un aspecto también importante dentro de el proceso de enseñanza-aprendizaje son los elementos de la didáctica que tienen que estar presentes siempre en nuestro diseño de clase, en nuestra en nuestro análisis de la situación de lo que yo voy a hacer dentro del aula de clase. Lo primero que todo, como lo hemos venido manifestando, es precisamente a quién va dirigido el aprendizaje o la enseñanza, que es al alumno. Siempre se tiene que considerar el alumno. ¿Qué alumno yo tengo? Yo tengo alumno rural. Ese alumno rural tiene posibilidades de tener recursos, tener esto, tener todas las cosas que usted necesita saber alrededor del entorno económico, del entorno geográfico del niño. Y en ese sentido, tiene que hacer su planificación. El docente, que es el que promueve el aprendizaje. El objetivo, las metas educativas que reflejan los logros de aprendizaje, y esos generalmente están en los programas de estudio. Usted los extrae de ahí, desde los fines hasta el del aula, y usted lo desdobla ya en el último, que sería su clase. Los contenidos también están dentro de los programas. Los objetivos, recuerden que cuando hablamos de objetivos los programas no tienen los objetivos como un marco de hierro. Pueden ser modificados de acuerdo a precisamente el alumno, a los recursos, a las técnicas y al entorno. Se pueden desdoblar en otros que sean más, que se puedan lograr. Los contenidos también están o se encuentran en los planes, en los programas de estudio, y son pues los contenidos usted también los puede desdoblar, igual que los objetivos. ¿Cómo yo voy a dosificar ese contenido para el logro de las actividades? Todo eso es el trabajo del aula. Y el docente es el que se ve tomando en cuenta todo lo que se ha dicho anteriormente, cómo hago eso. También tiene que tomar en cuenta los recursos didácticos, que son los medios o materiales de apoyo que utiliza el docente para mediar los contenidos de aprendizaje significativo. Entonces, eso es importante también tenerlo. Fíjense, yo puedo decirles que ha habido un abuso quizás en estos últimos tiempos de los recursos de multimedia. No todos los videos que hay en la web son buenos, ni todos se logran las actividades. En eso es importante, porque no es solamente proporcionar un video porque dice, que es didáctica, yo se los mando y ustedes no. Usted tiene que revisarlo, mirar si eso logra los objetivos, si están los contenidos. Entonces, es así también para la elección de el recurso didáctico del entorno o del nivel. ¿Qué hacemos? Ahora se está hablando muchísimo de de recursos que tienen que ver con la lúdica, con el juego, ¿verdad? Que generalmente logran captar más la atención y la motivación del niño. Pero recordemos que nosotros todavía tenemos incluso recursos que pueden ser muy beneficiosos y que no necesariamente están asociados a las tecnologías de la información y la comunicación o asociadas al Internet. Entonces, es importante, en inglés me parece que utilizan mucho las tarjetas flash y ese tipo de recursos que se pueden hacer manualmente. Y en cuanto a los métodos y técnicas, son los procedimientos a seguir para promover el aprendizaje. Y es precisamente lo que les comentaba de
I guess the teacher lost connection, right?
Probably.
She said power went off, so probably she lost the source again.
Let me try to contact her. Okay, she's not having internet connection in this moment. So we have to move to the first group of presenters.
Recording
Speakers.
stopped.
Let's go to the first group, which is composed by Fátima Morán, Isabela Rodríguez, and Solángel González.
Recording in
The-
progress.
The topic is mobile learning, and learning is not just about watching a small screen, it's about transforming our education. Fátima Morán will be introduced by Lori Gomez.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Fatima Mora is a senior student at the English school. She is from San Juan de Dios. Fatima studied tourism at Santa Rita High School. Her personal goals are to study a higher education and become an English teacher. She has taken several English summer courses at Universidad Tecnológica, Universidad del Trabajo, and the Pan American Academy. She participated in the course Liderazgo sin estar al mando by Daniel Koster, as well as in workshop seminar Investigación Cualitativa, un estudio a profundidad. Currently, Fatima is close to obtain her technical and bachelor's degree in humanity with emphasis in English. She loves to spend her free time crocheting and planting flowers. Her main skills are creative and resilience. Welcome, Fatima.
Thank you, Ms. Lam, and thank you for the introduction. Welcome. Well, today we are going to share with you an incredible topic that is going changing everything in education. But I would like to share with you before to start with the explanation with a quote that caught my attention from Simon Patrick. One day he said that we can teach people everything they need. What you can do is position them where they can find what they need to know when they need to know. Today, my group and I will position you in the new era of education, the era of mobile learning, because mobile learning is not just watching a small screen. It's about transforming education. But what is mobile learning? Mobile learning is the use of mobile devices such as cell phones, tablets, and laptops. To understand this topic, let's go back to the past. Give me a moment. Let's go back to the past. During the 19th century began the distant learning. What is a distant learning? The distant learning allowed the students to acquire the different kind of resources and material through non-electronic means, such as screens and nets. Then, in the 20th century, with the advent of computers and internet, the students were allowed to acquire the different resources, books, materials through internet, using a computer and being online. Then, currently we use cell phones for everything. Gone are days when we use cell phone just to call people or send messages. Now we use cell phones, laptops, and tablets to learn. So mobile learning is like a subdivision of e-learning or electronic learning. Mobile learning allows the students, the learners to use mobile devices anytime, anywhere to study. So it's not the same that e-learning, because e-learning needs, you have to use a computer, you have to be online, you have to use a specific time to study. But using mobile learning, you can feel free and you are the only owner of your future, of your education. Let's talk about the main characteristic of mobile learning. Mobile learning is anytime, anywhere. One of the main characteristics of mobile learning is the accessibility. Why? Because you can study being at home, working, you can study traveling, and it allows you as a student, choose your schedule. For example, in my case, it was difficult for me to connect to my virtual classes, but by using my cell phone, I have to look for a good place to connect to my classes, and I can do it. I'm here studying. Thanks God, I use now a computer because it's better than a cell phone, but it also allows me to choose any kind of activities. Like my cell phone, using a cell phone, you can download any kind of apps and study at the same time. So flexibility. Why flexibility? Because you can study in the morning, afternoon, at night. You decide your schedule. Using mobile devices in educations allow the students to study and work at the same time, to acquire different kind of resources and materials, to use any kind of places where they can feel safe, and they can use these kind of devices. Why engagement? Well, engagement because mobile learning use different kind of technical tools such as AI, and also it can use gamifications, videos. It can allow students to connect to learn through audios. You can go to YouTube and watch a video and you are learning. At the end, it also is cost effective because you don't have to pay for books, you don't have to pay for copies, you don't have to go and travel to go to the university every day. You can access to your education here, just in a cell phone, just using a tablet or using a laptop. So this trend in education is here to change the way we learn and the way we teach, not only for students, also for teachers, because we as a future teachers need to know all these kind of technologies in order to achieve all the objectives that we want to apply in the future. So by knowing all the characteristics, by knowing all these kind of technologies, we can take all the advantage for a future with education in technology. Now, I would like to ask you, students, do you consider that you have apps, or do you have resources and materials in your cell phone, on your tablets or laptop that help you to study anytime, anywhere?
May I share my opinion?
Okay, Gabriel.
Okay, I don't think so because as you mentioned, we started college virtually and we had to look for the resources and the ways to learn English easier. I currently do not have it, but I had an app that was called The Word of the Day, I think it was. It helps me to learn about the idioms and how we can interpret them in our language. And also you mentioned YouTube. I really love listening to pep talks. So I really use a channel that is called, I think it's TEDx Talks, that it's about pep talks. So I do consider, and I agree with what you said.
Thank you, Gabriel. And you are agree because it's not just using apps from Play Store or Apple Store. You can also go to websites on internet using videos from YouTube, any kind of resources that help you to study, to help you to improve your education. So now let's talk about the different kind of type of mobile learning. And for that, let me to introduce my classmate, Isabella Rodriguez.
I'm sorry. To introduce Isabella, we have Candy Lane. Candy? Alexandra, is
Recording
Candy here?
stopped.
Alexandra, is Candy here?
Let me see. No, teacher.
Okay, no problem. Anything is a problem. Let me have the pleasure to introduce Isabella. Isabella
Recording in
Rodriguez.
progress.
Isabella Rodriguez is a senior English student at the University of Panama. She was born in Cocle province. She studied at a Bachelor in Commerce at Mercedes Bustamante High School, Toabre. She would like to study a specialization in the English language and learn more skills in the commercial area. A relevant achievement in her high school diploma in commerce graduated with honors. Also, she's opting for her English degree. Her hobbies are reading, drawing, painting, and watching cultural documentaries. She speaks Spanish and English. She has a good communication for teamwork, adaptability, and above all, resilience. With you, Isabella.
Okay, thank you. Mobile learning is a powerful tool for teaching. Learners of this century have a great opportunity in their hands to get information, educational content, and master skills. Nowadays, learners engaged in mobile learning can learn anytime and anywhere using wireless internet-enabled devices. Hello everyone, today I have the opportunity to talk about type of mobile learning. There are many types of mobile learning in education that we need to learn how to use them, not only in classroom, but also to improve our professional and personal life. The first one is microlearning. It helps learners to absorb and retain information better and more quickly. This learning approach involves breaking large down courses materials into a small lesson, like Duolingo app. When I started learning English language, I used Basu and Duolingo apps. These apps have short lessons and practice. These lessons do not exceed 10 minutes. Second, video and audio-based learning. Tech is an example of this mobile learning, since it keeps learners' attention and increases information in students about different topics. I recommend it because you can watch many speakers talking and explaining in different ways about simple, complex, and interesting topics. Third, text-based learning. Students decide when to start reading and when to stop. And if their smartphone have a highlight feature, they can highlight important paragraphs, sections, and summaries. HubSpot is a good example of this one. It is a platform that encourages learners to check out the text-based resource that contains Moodle's key points, resources, summaries, and next steps learners should take. Fourth, virtual instructor-led training. Many students from universities and schools use this mobile learning during the spread of COVID-19. Even right now, we are still using it because virtual courses or meetings are usually done through video conferencing platforms like Zoom or Google Meet. However, some teachers prefer to put their virtual courses up on massive open online courses, MOOC, MOOC, like Coursera and Udemy. And these platforms give the learners the opportunity to take free courses and develop it whenever they want to do so. And fifth, learning management system refers to mobile accessible to articles and videos that educators share with learners, such as Moodle, Docebo, and Schoology. And there are, next, please. Okay, there are the most common type of mobile learning that you need to be aware are mobile apps. We can find many apps for education that are useful and engaging. And we also have podcasts and audiobooks are a great way to explore new topics and get new information without having to carry heavy books. Mobile sites. And this one helps learners to get different kind of materials like articles, videos, and resources from their mobile device. And mobile simulations are good trainings for those students who are engaged in aviation, engineering, healthcare, and so on. Recently, I learned how to use chatbots and artificial intelligence-based learning to create good educational content. Like ChatGPT, Google Bard, and other apps help students to get information, resources, and answer questions quickly. So mobile learning covers various teaching methods and approaches, and it differs based on goals, topics, and audience. Higher education is changing and are going through a significant transformation. So you have a smartphone in your hand, right? And we implemented this mobile learning right in the chat box of this Zoom conference, and tell me what kind of type of mobile learning did you remember that I mentioned before. I will be checking it, and we will continue with my partner, Solangel Gonzalez.
Okay, Solangel will be introduced by Helen Dominguez.
Thank you, Mrs. Lam. Solangel Gonzalez works in Caribbean cinema at the Boulevard Penonomé. She graduated in humanities from Angel Maria Herrera High School and as a technician in English. She wants to be a history and geography teacher, but teaches them in English. Her hobbies are watching history and philosophy documentaries, reading, and listening to music. Solangel was an English tutor at Sofia Quiroz de Tejera Elementary Schools for her community service in 2021. Besides, she has completed other courses and seminars such as the Access Program 2017 to 2018, After School Program 2019, EFL for Freshmen and College Integration 2020, Liderazgo sin estar al mando 2022, that have enriched her academic and personal training. Some of Ms. Gonzalez's skills are speaking in public, being a leader, being a good seller, and motivating other people. With you, Solangel Gonzalez.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Helen, for introducing me. As my partners were explaining, we already saw the concept of mobile learning, its characteristic, the type of mobile learning, and even how to use them. But let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages. Among the advantages of mobile learning are access anywhere and anytime. It doesn't matter if you are here in Penonomé or if you are in Panama City or if you are in another country, you can read a book and take lessons. As long as you have access to internet, you can learn. Covers a huge distance. A real example of that is this webinar, because all of us, we are here from our homes, but this webinar is possible. And also that can be possible is a class where the student, for example, is in a country in Latin America and the teacher is in a country of Europe. So a class online like that can be possible. Variety of content. And this is a topic that I want to highlight because it's very sensitive or very delicate, because in internet we can find any kind of information. So we have to be very careful with the kids because they can find any kind information, and remember that behind a screen can be any kind of people. So maybe not maybe, it's dangerous for the students. Encourage students. When a kid realize that he learned something that he learned through the internet, maybe he say like, oh, I can learn that through internet. So the students wants to get more and more and more information. And here also test your knowledge play role, because even us as adults, when we learn something or any fact through the internet, we say like, oh, I was thinking that I knew very well this, but now I can say that really I didn't know very well. And then disadvantages. Software issues. If I lose my notebook, maybe with $2 I can get another. But what happens if I lose my cell phone, or if my cell phone is broke? Maybe that is not cheap. So we have to take into account that fact when we are trying with mobile learning. That was hardware issues and software issues. When we are trying with PC, laptops, or any kind of device technology, we have to understand that we have updated some platforms, apps, such as the antivirus or Listen. If in my computer I don't have my antivirus or my Microsoft Listens updated, obviously my computer will not work well. Distraction and misuse. In these disadvantages is the most dangerous, because sometimes the vulnerable people, as the kids, they are victims of people that don't know or don't use the internet in a correct way. And the last one, lack of internet connection or electricity. I remember in pandemia time, when we were in virtuality, 2020, 2021, when I woke up, and I had to enter to Miss Lam classes, I realized that I didn't have electricity power. So I suffered a lot because I couldn't access or enter to the classes. Was so frustrating for me. In mobile learning, we have to take into account 3 important aspects: security, technological, and pedagogical. In security, when we are creating a Google or Gmail or iCloud account, we are exposing our personal information. So the students has to know that maybe when they are creating this type of account, is exposed their name, their age, and their personal information that can be dangerous for people that misuse the internet. Key distribution and management. Information confidentiality, and privacy, secure routing, data integrity, and the most important, and empathy, authentication, and secure data aggregation. In technological, quick response, flexibility, adaptability, ease of use, and maintains reliability and connectivity, and the user interface and security. So that's that I was telling in the advantages of mobile learning. And the last one, and the most important for me, which is pedagogical aspect. The student have to manage the control between the technology time or the technology period of learning and the real life. So it's important that as teachers, we have to manage and instill in the students that kind of aspect, such as the self-regulation and learning, academic performance, application and active teaching learning methodologies, and the influence of informal learning.
Thank you guys for your attention. Thank you, Ms. Lam, for allowing us to be here and share this important topic for us, not only for students, also for teachers, because it's a new way to transform our education. By using mobile devices, we can have anytime, anywhere, we can access resources, material, we can access our books without paying anything, just having our education in our hands. Thank you.
Yes, Fatima. And let's remember that mobile learning is a new modality that is here to stay. So it's up to us how to apply it and teach to the students to take advantages of all its benefits. And we must not be afraid of the technology. On the contrary, we get advanced with it.
You are right, girls. Thank you for your presentation. We have our next group, which is Connectivism, an innovative approach to education.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
By Cielo Sanchez, Jorge Torrero, Freddy Gomez, and they will be introduced one after the other because of the way they will be speaking. As I said before, their topic is Connectivism, an innovative approach to education. They will be presented by Marlenis Ibarra, Carlos Castillo, and Daniel Pinto, in that order. Marlenis?
Yes. Cielo Elena Sanchez Quintero is passionate about languages, who has a bachelor's degree in tourism from Rafael Quintero Villarreal High School. Cielo is a senior student of the English degree at Universidad de Panamá. Throughout her life, she has attended seminars and programs. She's tutoring UDLS students. In addition, she's an active member of Penonome's Leo Club, where she can take part in various national events that helps the community and promote consciousness about different global causes, including diabetes, childhood cancer, the environment, and others. To further her professional and personal development, she aspires to be an English teacher. Cielo considers herself a dreamer, leader, empathetic, and persistent person. Welcome, Cielo.
Thank you so much for the presentation.
Let's continue with the next one, please.
Jorge Torrero is a 22-year-old youngster from Penonomé. He's a senior student of the English career at Universidad de Panamá. He has been studying English for 5 years, including professional college education and independent courses. He is currently working in the touristic field where he has practiced mainly his speaking skills with English native speakers. He has experience on teaching English to pre-kinder students at the Red Cross Penonomé branch, as well as tutoring freshman English students at Universidad de Panamá Coclé campus. Let's welcome him.
Freddy Eduardo Gomez Gomez is a senior English student at Universidad de Panamá, as well as in the Industrial Engineering program at Tianjin University in China. Awarded in 2016 with the Global Ugrach Scholarship by the U.S. Embassy, performed his internship at DC Tutoring and Mentoring Initiative at a non-profit organization located in Washington, D.C. in 2018. In 2019, was awarded with the Chinese government scholarship to study in China. Freddy has been an English to Spanish interpreter for the Lions Club, Midway College, and Rotary International Club. He has developed English reinforcement projects as well as leadership programs at college and his community. Freddy speaks Spanish, English, Chinese, Portuguese, American Sign Language, and is currently studying German. With us, Freddy.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to an interesting topic, which is connectivism. So let's go ahead and get it started. So connectivism, we title our presentation An Innovative Approach to Education. This is our content table, and this is all the information that we will actually be talking about. Introduction, connectivism and culture, and connectivism and the previous theories. Education objective, MOOC, which you might wonder, what is MOOC? Connectivism in Panama, the COVID pandemic situation, and how connectivism was influencing the interview, and of course, a conclusion. So let's go ahead and get it started. But before that, I'm going to read you this quote that says, we need to move beyond the idea that an education is something provided for us and toward the idea that an education is something that we create for ourselves. Stephen Downes. Stephen Downes, which is actually one of the authors on the connectivism theory. But let's go ahead and get yourself introduced on what is it that we're going to talk about. So in the new era, in the new educational area, we have a new friend who actually as well become not only a student, but as well as a teacher, and that is technology. 20 years ago or so, we had theories on the constructivism, on the behaviorism, and the cognitivism. But then because of the fact that the new educational methodology was changing, and as well, the demand was a different one. So then the connectivism theory went to a realization, which is nothing else that what? Let's go ahead and see what is connectivism. Connectivism. So connectivism, it is related to the new technological era. It tries to fit how technology actually is built around being able to not only receive information, but at the same time to transmit it. It also provides learners the opportunity to provide their personal thoughts, their individual insights and comments, opinions, and etc. So let's go ahead and see some of the authors that actually were into the connectivism theory. So there are two main authors. One of them is George Simmons, which is he is a theorist and a teaching in digital society, and was the one who participated in the creation of the connectivist theory. Also, we have Stephen Downes, which is a Canadian philosopher and commentator in the fields of online learning and new media. In 2008, the both of them, Downes and George Simmons, they designed and delivered an open online course that was reported as a milestone in the small but growing momentum toward the open learning. Now, at that time, it was widely regarded as the first massive open online connectivism course, or as you saw before, MOOC, massive opening online course. So among the principles that we have many principles to try to define how connectivism works. Please keep in mind that connectivism, if you thought at the beginning that connectivism was connecting your computer to the power socket, well, it's more than that. Connectivism is actually how you get this information from this source and how you are able to, by using technological means, to being able to pass it to something else, somebody else, a different source. That's how connectivism works. So among the principles we have, 1, learning is a process of connecting. People learn by not only with the information that the professor, the teacher, the tutor has given to them, but as well as, okay, there is more responsibility to me on looking for more information that can actually help my personal growth, my educational side. So this sort of connection is going to actually build up the knowledge that I already have. So that is why it is very important knowing what is connectivism. The other really important principle is that the information that we know today might change or even might be wrong in the future. Why? Because information and all what it takes into the new technology is a changing agent. It's always going to be in constant change. Now you might think about, but then how is it related? Like, how is it different people have different opinions and different insights? Where there is something that it is always around us, and that is culture, right? Culture. So how culture influences, how culture and behaviorism are influenced both together. Well, there are actually 2 cases that I pull out. First, culture influences how people learn, right? In some cultures, people learn by themselves, and they say that it is an individual endeavor, meaning that I can do this by myself and I don't need help. However, in some of the cultures, learning is a collaborative process, meaning that a group of networks or people or individuals connected together, we can actually learn. Now, the second point on how connectivism and culture are influenced both together is that influences the type of connections that the learner makes. For example, in some cultures, people learn in between them and they learn only about their own culture, while others, they like to learn about different culture, different insights, different opinions from different people. So yes, so when connectivism and culture are considered both together, it becomes a clear and a complex, multifaceted process. It influences what? It influences the variety of factors that are included in the individual learning background, the learning environment, and the culture in which the learning take place. So it's really important to have a very good understanding of how connectivism and culture are together, how people learn, how they develop, how they perform in the environment that they are in, how they actually use these technology advantages that we have. We saw before on the previous presentation how mobile, it has a huge influence on how people learn, how we use technological devices to how get this information and how to being able to just use this information to build up our knowledge. So that is very important, and how understanding not only the culture, but how we actually learn and how we use these methods towards our betterment. That is really important to know. Okay.
Well, now let's talk about the connectivism and the previous theory. Behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism are the 3 main learning theories. These theories try to develop the learning programs and study the psychology involved in the individual's ability to learn. These theories involve its own virtues, allowing educators to employ them in various degrees. First, we have behaviorism, that is also called task-based learning. Behaviorism believes that people born as a blank slate, in Spanish is called tabula rasa, using rewardness and punishment as a basis of conditioning. People slowly learn an appropriate behavior. Developed as a response to behaviorism, cognitivism states that learning by individual happens when the student processes the information and they stimulate what they receive, rather than just simply responding to conditioning. The student think and analyze the responses. Then we have constructivism. Constructivism relies on the idea that individuals create an understanding and interpretation of the lessons based on their prior experiences and knowledge. The students bring their unique experience and perspective to the classroom. And the last one, that is connectivism. Connectivism is a new learning theory that suggests that students should combine thoughts, theory, and general information in a useful manner. You can see me?
Yes. No.
Okay.
I can't. I cannot see you.
Oh my God, I don't know. Then let me
I do. Now you're.
I can see you while you were speaking. Though.
I can see you, Sil.
Now?
I can see you. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Yeah, no.
Thank you. Well, connectivism is a new learning theory that suggests that students should combine thoughts, theory, and general information in a useful manner. It accepts that technology is a major part of the learning process, and with our constant connectedness, give us opportunities to make choices about our learning. So now we have the educational objective. First, we have the role of the teachers and the students. The author of this theory claims that the role of the teacher is to help students identify reliable, the most crucial information, and be able to discern the difference between relevant and irrelevant information. On the other hand, the role of the students is centered on developing the ability to make choices in a variety of information and communication sources. Therefore, the student is the key of the connectivism. Second one, we have personalized learning and personal learning. Although these terms are frequently used together, they have different meanings. By defining objective, choosing resources, and trying to figure it out the teaching methods that work best for them, the personal learning gives people the power to take control of their education. So it helps the students to develop a feeling of autonomy and self-direction so they can follow their interests. And on the contrary, personalized learning involves adapting resources to each student in their learning styles. And the third one is collaborative learning and cooperative learning. Collaborative learning and cooperative learning are both effective teaching methods. However, they differ in their structure and their emphasis. In collaborative learning, the students work together to achieve a common goal. They share ideas and resources. The focus is on the mutual success, leading to a deeper understanding of the subject matter. Cooperative learning, on the other hand, the student has a specific role or task to contribute to the group's success. The teacher designs the task and then give the roles to the students to ensure each student's contribution to the group. Now we have MOOC. What is MOOC? MOOC is a massive open online course. It is a web-based distance learning program intended for a huge number of students. A MOOC could be less organized or modeled after a course at university or institution. Even while these courses do not always respond in academic credit, they could lead you to certification, improve your career success, and encourage the future education. Now the question is there a MOOC in Panama? And the answer is yes. Many private universities have a lot of free online courses. The only thing you have to do is to search on the internet MOOC in Panama, and then you will get different options, such as Universidad del Istmo, where you can find a lot of free online courses. In general, MOOC is an important tool for the learning process. It could help people who are looking to learn a specific topic get that connectivity is here to stay, and that connectivism is a new paradigm of this era. Now my partner, George, with the connectivism in Panama.
Good morning, everyone in the audience. I hope you can hear me well. Well, connectivism in Panama. We know that in Panama, in our educational facilities and system, learning is no more an internal and individual work, but connectivism offers a wide approach and embraces the changes of the society. The implementation of new technologies on the educational system is changing the way of people to work and operate. And these technological tools are also developing and creating new ways of thinking. Look, when the pandemic arrived, it changed a lot the educational system, and it was applied new learning methods that can be of approach for all the education. And one of these new innovative learning methods was B-learning. B-learning or blended learning is a teaching method in which is combined the face-to-face classes with the online elements or the virtuality in order to get the best part of each one of them and obtain the best educational approaches for all the people in education. We set 3 recommendations in which B-learning can be applied in Meduca. The first one is to make an analysis of the educational needs and weaknesses, as well as the students' characteristics. We know that all students learn in different ways. And in this way, by knowing this analysis, it can be applied the best technologies for each case. The second recommendation is exactly applying the best technology for each case. You know that there are many devices, systems, and apps that can be applied on education. However, not everyone works effectively under certain characteristics. For instance, a student that learned better by listening will not be learning as effective with something that is viewed. And the third recommendation is to apply meaningful contents. The teacher should be aware of what are the best contents for students to learn in order to reach the competences and objectives they have in the subject or individually. But where did connectivism came from? And one of the reasons of the showing up of connectivism was pandemic. You know that pandemic was a big change on the education. Before the pandemic, education was based just in face-to-face classes, and it was used just a few virtual elements or technological elements such as computers and projectors. However, when pandemic appeared, there was a big change because education had to shift quickly to the virtuality, and it was or it showed up or was most used the technologies we are using nowadays, like virtual classrooms or video conferencing apps like Zoom and collaborative platforms. But pandemic also brought some challenges for students, such as some of them didn't have the same accessibility to internet like others. People in towns were more difficult to get connected than people in cities. And after the pandemic, then it was applied the method we are using right now, that is combining face-to-face classes to virtual elements like blended learning I mentioned before. And it was more integrated the technology on the classes. But besides education, pandemic also affected the work field. And that's why we had the opportunity to interview Miss Vindy Ceballos, who is working virtually from home, and she was asked some questions about this new remote work style, challenges, her mental and emotional health in this new style of working, its relationship with the pandemic, as well as the transition from a traditional work to a virtual one. And in the interview, she highlighted the emotional impact of global events because of the pandemic and the crucial role of company culture in providing a positive environment for remote working, as well as the professional personal growth she had in this new style of working. The interviewee's positive transition from a traditional work to a virtual one is an evidence that this style of working has also benefits. However, it must be improved by giving more training or for people adapting more to it. And overall, the interview captures the multi-phased nature of remote work by offering valuable insights to both the challenges and the rewards of remote working.
Thanks to connectivism, now we are able to understand how the digital era and the technology has not only modified education, but as well how people learn. In Panama, virtual classes, technology, sorry, was actually implemented many long ago. However, because of the pandemic, sort of pushed us, not only schools, but also colleges to implement new technology methods on how to teach and how to get that information, go to different places. So on behalf of our team, thank you so much for listening, and we hope that you have understood what is the concept behind connectivism. Now, my partner, Cielo, she's going to explain an activity that we have for you. Before that, learning gives creativity, creativity leads to thinking, thinking provides knowledge, knowledge makes you great. Cielo.
So, well, we have prepared a small game on Kahoot. Kahoot allows us to create learning games or choose from the ones who are already created to start working on a topic, review, and reinforce the content. So, taking into account the connectivity, we thought it was a good idea to put into practice this platform. So we prepared a Kahoot with some questions of the connectivism. Now my partner George with the activity.
Hello again, everyone. If you look in the chat, I shared a link. If it's able for you to get in the link, please come so some of you can play with me. You can see the screen, right?
Yes.
Well, the methodology is I will share the questions here in my screen, and you will have to select the correct color in your devices. So let's start with the ones that are here. The first question is, what alternative would you use to refer to connectivism? Task-based learning, problem solving, or new paradigm? some answers. All right, let's see a table. Charlize, go ahead. The second question is, how can connectivism be applied to educational practices? Teachers do not implement the new educational approaches. Teachers are not qualified enough to implement the new technologies or creating learning environments that are collaborative and encourage reflection. All right, looks like more of you answered right. So let's follow the following question. What's the focus of the connectivism as compared to other learning theories? Well, network learning and connecting between different ideas and concepts, observable behavior and reinforcement, and mental processes involved in learning. All right, let's see the table. Oh, some of you are going down, some of you are going up. Which of the following activities is most appropriate for promoting connectivism-based learning? A master class in which a teacher explains the topic in a linear way, a project in which students work together to solve a problem, or a multiple choice test in which students must memorize information. All right, looks like all of you got the right answer in this one. Following question is, which of the following technology tools is better for supporting connectivism-based learning? A book, an online learning platform, or a whiteboard? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This one was really easy. Next question. Connectivism is a learning theory that emphasizes the importance of connection and networks, individual learning, memorization, or traditional teaching methods. Three, two, one. Nice, connections and networks. The next question, culture can be defined as, for the ones that pay attention to my partner Freddie talking about culture, collection of individual preferences, set of shared beliefs, values, and customs, universal set of human behaviors, or random assortments of customs and traditions. Oh, most of you got the right answer. Next question, connectivism and culture are interrelated in that connectivism can promote cultural understanding and diversity. Culture can shape how people learn and connect with others. And both connectivism and culture are static and unchanging, or connectivism is only relevant in Western cultures. Culture can shape how people learn and connect with others. The next question, which of the following is an example of how connectivism can be used to promote cultural understanding? Creating online learning communities that are culturally diverse, using culturally relevant sources in teaching, encourage learners to share cultural knowledge with others, or all the answers. Yeah, all of them are right answers. Charlize keeps on the top. Next question, what is a challenge that education may face when incorporating connectivism and culture into their teaching? Finding culturally appropriate technology tools, ensuring that all learners have access to technology, addressing cultural bases and stereotypes, or all the answers. And here, all the answers were correct. Let's see how goes the table. Ooh, some of you are going down. B-learning is based on an easy one. Just face-to-face classes in a traditional classroom, face-to-face education with virtuality combined, or full virtual education. And time's over. Yeah, face-to-face education with virtuality combined. Oh my God, someone goes to the top now. Education in regards to virtuality after COVID-19 pandemic is mainly online, classic face-to-face classes, or face-to-face classes using and applying digital online elements. After the pandemic, how is education? Yeah, now there's a combination of face-to-face classes with virtual elements. Alexandra keeps on the top. A recommendation to apply B-learning in Meduca is send the same video of explanation to every student, select the best technologies according to education and students' needs, or letting the students use their cell phone in class every time they want. And the answer was to select the best technology according to the needs. Yeah. We're almost finishing. To select the best technologies for students, it should be, but the latest release devices, ask the students what device they want, or analyze education needs and students' characteristics. And time's over here. Yeah, analyze education needs and students' characteristics. Sure, let's go back to the top. And the last question is, a challenge in education regarding the virtuality during COVID-19 pandemic was problems with internet connection, students didn't feel motivated, or students didn't have cell phones. And if you want to finish, 3, 2, 1. Time's over. And problems with internet connection. Let's see the podium and this activity. Jonathan on the third place, Charlize on second, and the first one is for Alexandra. Congratulations, every one of you did an amazing job. Thanks for your attention and participation.
Thank you for your presentation, guys. Excellent job for all of the groups. Our next group is...
Recording stopped.
Next group is...
Recording in progress.
Composed by Maria, Gabriela Fernandez, Naomi Herrera, and Wendy Flores with the topic, video-based learning. The first one, Johan will be introducing Maria Gabriela.
Good morning, teacher. I the first. Wendy Flores.
Wendy will be introduced by Daniel Pinto.
Wendy Flores del Rosario, sorry, the camera. Wendy Flores del Rosario studied tourism at Carmen Conte Lombardo Institute. She attended excellence in customer service at hotel company seminars. She is close to get a degree in humanities with an emphasis in English at University of Panama. She participated in seminars as Future Pioneers for Sustainable Development with Peace Corps. The best way to predict the future is to create it with the English School. She was trained in leadership without being in charge by Daniel Castro. She participated in the community service English Beyond Time and Distance at the Centro Educativo Pedro Guevara in El Cristo, Agua Dulce. Wendy is a true believer that resilience is key in the learning process. Welcome, Wendy.
Good morning to everyone. I hope that each one of you are well. Thank you, Daniel, for that introduction. And let's start with this interesting topic, video-based learning, a teaching method for English as a second language learners. Today, many students have contact, know, and use computer media to carry out tasks. Talking about learning resources today necessarily lead us to the use of new technologies. These resources can become a true instrument of thought, innovation, motivation for learning, and facilitating teaching. That is why video-based learning is considered one of the best methods for studying different languages. Video-based learning literally refers to learning experience facilitated through video, with its ability to combine images, graphics, animations, audios, and text. Videos create a multisensory experience that, unlike any other e-learning format. Because of this, it is not a surprise that video-based learning is quickly becoming a dominant standard of the online training. Although it's not a totally new method because some time ago it was used, but at the same time it was complicated because it was complicated to have access to the different video platforms. But fortunately now it's common because you can do it from the different technological devices that mostly are available to everyone. And one example of them is the cell phones. An interesting fact is that YouTube alone has 2 billion users worldwide, and that's about the third part of the internet. That gives us an idea of the scope of this type of learning. Video-based learning isn't limited to the transmission of information. Rather, it seeks to engage the students in a way that fosters deep understanding and lasting retention. The combination of visual, auditory, and in some cases, the interactive elements allow the students to learn at their own stead, adapting to the varying learning styles. The learners can also play an active role in this type of method and not just being a spectator. For example, by suggesting to students the creation of an academic video about the history of English literature represent a double challenge for them, both by the visual result and the challenge of doing it in a second language. Because the fact of having to explain a specific means, it represents that they have to acquire knowledge in a deep way to be able to transmit to their classmates. And that's why videos offers to the second language learners the opportunity to use languages in a relevant context, such as be creative, make use of the value of the working as a team, improve their ability to their skills, such as in the relation to the oral expressions, fluency, and with this gain a great understanding to achieve the meaningful learning. Another important fact is that this kind of method is a great help for those students who are visual and kinesthetic, because in this way, they retain knowledge easier by elaborating the video and by looking the visual result, as I said before. Video-based learning make it easy to access educational resources from anywhere, anytime, eliminating those geographic and time restrictions that often limit the learning's opportunity. Finally, as a society that moves towards an increasingly digital future, video-based learning is positioned as a cornerstone in educational evolution. This approach not only enriches the learning experience, but also promotes the engagement and the critical thinking. In this context, you will continue listening how video-based learning is shaping today's educational landscape and driving knowledge acquisition in an effective way and revolutionizing the way we think about how is learning a second language and teaching it. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. Johan, your turn.
Maria Gabriela Fernandez Rivas worked as receptionist in the Los Lirios Hotel and Pool and has a makeup enterprise. She studied for a bachelor's degree in humanity at Angel Maria Herrera High School. She participated in the Peace Corps leadership course. She joined the webinar, How to Foster Metacognitive Skills for Independent Learning and Teaching English in a Blended Learning World. Maria Gabriela was certified by the international webinar, The Art of Teaching. Maria taught at Centro Básico General Salitrosa and Santa Rita Arriba School as a social service. Moreover, her hobbies are doing exercise, meditation, sharing with her loved ones, and great cook. Don't count the days, let the days count.
Thank you, Johan, for that presentation. So then is the benefits. Okay, the benefits of the video-based learning. One of them is the accessible content. Sorry. You can watch the PPT.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the benefit that video-based learning provides. One of them is the extensively accessible content. Nowadays, the videos are a meaningful tool that are used for learning, that not just reduce the cognitive load, but also is a video grab attention and also increase the learning engagement. There are many reasons as to why that the video are made for a powerful learning experience. As I said before, the extensively accessible content, this part is a meaningful tool that is work as a tool that is created to be made as an accessible within the learner system so that they can improve the access to that important information exactly when and where they need and they want. That is, for example, that the learners want to find a specific explanation for a topic, for example, in English, diamond sentences. That is so important that the kids or that the learners and then that the learners can, one of them, reading or hearing an explanation be more easy, but other ones need to be more like shapes, need to learn by colors, but other people explain in different ways. For example, in tutorial explanations, procedures, part by part, step by step. So that's an accessible content that's found in videos in YouTube, and you will find a million videos of diamond sentence of the people explaining in different methods, different characteristics, in different ways, and give you option how to study that. It's a complement of the classes, what you learn in classes or in an activity that you are learning, and then you complement with a video. Then we have the micro-learning that allows the micro-learning. In this part, the beginners, when read or hear a new idea or a concept, they often tend to move on or to consider it, but seeing that concept in a materialized way, for example, in online video or in a short way micro-learning, they give to the student a pause for thought, and this make a fluctuation that is a result that makes a fluctuation in how they think about and what they have just learned. For example, this video that you are seeing in your screen, that is a little cat explaining the position of the preposition in English, explaining in a physical way with that box. I am very sure that the kids not forget that image in her mind when are in classes, and then they recognize that explanation that is simple and it's very short the video because it's 1.5 minutes. And I'm very sure that the kids recognize, because the kids are very, very, it's like a sponge, and are always talking about what are doing in the classes. And as a second language, it's so great to watch videos, because to learn a second language is useful to how the other people are using that language. For example, in the pronunciation, when you watch videos, you can hear the pronunciation, you can watch what the people are pronounced in her mouth, that pronunciation and certain accent, or explaining certain words, certain word in English. And it's so important to know how the people implement that word in different topics or in different sentences, because it has different meanings. So we have that option, that benefit that give all the internet, and this technology is our best friend. So we need to take an advantage of that. Then we have the strategies. Okay, the strategies that can help drive engagement in learning. One of them is the Video Assist Learning, VAL. That is a well-defined and strategic teaching method that is using as a didactic and theoretical way to improve the scholar comprehension, cognitive abilities, and social emotional skills. As I said before, nowadays the technology is our best friend. So when you are studying a second language, we can complement what you learn in classes and what you complement the information that you found on the internet or in the videos. The videos is a good way to study, for example, have explanation in the internet, and also with the technology, you can make different methodologies, maybe with questionnaires. And as I said before, the technology, we need to take an advantage of that. Then we have the Gamify Your Videos, Learn by Playing. It's a great way to make learning fun, especially with dealing with that tedious subject that for you is like you don't understand, or you don't understand some part that the teacher are explaining, and for you don't understand that part, you can not understand what is of the rest of that topic. So it is important to make fun the classes, to try to make activities, games, and for that reason, in the competitive knowledge, the Gamify Videos learning experience also helps the progress engagement, foster the team structures, and increase the support among cross-functional teams. In videos, we have a lot of activities, games that we can implement in our classes. For example, questionnaires, the charades, that our students can develop different skills. For example, the cooperative learning, the cooperative skills, the critical thinking. Because when you are studying a second language, the first thing that you can do is to express your ideas, to express your words, even are wrong or good, or you make a controversy what you say, what will you say, but that's good. to develop that skills and to be like with fair. And when you are playing, you don't think that you are playing because you are so immersed in what you are doing with your classmates, that you are living up and gaming with your friends, talking, and you are not like you don't think that you are playing. You are learning. That is so captivating. That is so interesting that we have that strategies in our hands, and the technology is like a million strategy that you have in internet, but the video give that option, that benefits. So that is important. We need to balance the technology with the reality. It's so important to familiarize what is you are doing in the real life with the technology and try to implement that in your topics. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maria Gabriela. To introduce Naomi, we have Erica Martinez.
Naomi Desiree Herrera Martinez is a senior in English at Universidad de Panama. She has a bachelor's degree in science from Ángel María Herrera High School. In 2017, she won first place in the oratory contest at her high school. She's participated in national and international seminars and conferences as a speaker. In 2020, she took part in the Future Pioneers for Sustainable Development seminar of Peace Corps and Cru Cocle. Naomi was a member of the Global Quarantine Conversation Group project held by Armen Kasabian and Dr. Tiri Wei. She has certificates in tourist host, in social network and personal branding, and in customer service. In 2023, she obtained the Passport to Success Explorer certificate from COSPIRE. Naomi believes that success is the outcome of personal development. Welcome, Naomi.
Thank you for the introduction. Video-based learning is set to improve retention. If you ever notice, some people seem to acquire knowledge easier through listening or by watching, even if the topic seems to be unmanageable. So how? But how is this related with video-based learning and its improvement in retention, you may ask? Well, let's discuss the following example. As English second language learners, you have an antecedent to become a second language learner. Probably you grew up in a multicultural environment where you were surrounded by foreigners. But most frequently, you will sustain that you learn to manage the language because you listen to songs in English or watch TV shows in that language. And this second illustration, learning by watching TV shows, is a clear example of video-based learning and its improvement in retention. For those who sustain that they learn by watching, it is true. And this happens because of the channels that we use to absorb that information, which are the visual pictorial channel and the verbal processing channel. The first one, the visual pictorial channel, refers to images seen. That is, in this case, subtitles of the TV show, the characters, the object, everything that is displayed on the screen. And the second one, the verbal processing channel, refers to the spoken words. In this case, the spoken words are the conversations, the dialogues, the monologues, everything that we listen on the TV show. This is called the cognitive load theory by John Sweller. Now, this theory gives rise to another one, which is called the cognitive theory of multimedia learning. This theory is split in 4 stages, and it actually explains how our brain processes and stores information. In the first step, the learner is exposed to a presented material, which in this case is the video that we are watching. So then in the second one, analyze it and organize it in the following way. Our sensory memory, which refers to our physical senses, is split in a way that the graphics, everything that is on the screen, once again, the objects, the subtitles, the characters, the places, are enter our cognitive system through our eyes. And the spoken information, the dialogues, the monologues, everything that we listen on that video enters through our ears. And that information, as it cannot totally be extracted by our brain, goes into our working memory. Our working memory only selects and organizes part of it, because as I just mentioned, we cannot subtract everything that we expose ourselves to it. After we have that information, we move on to the last stage of this theory, which is arranging and linking all together to create a new information. Now, as English second language learning, that information that our brain has absorbed are all the English expression, idiom, phrasal verbs, prepositions that we have come to manage by watching TV shows. This is why it's said that video-based learning improves retention, because you are using both channels, the visual pictorial one, the verbal processing one, and all your memories are working to absorb that knowledge that you have now. Finally, we can say that video-based learning is a great tool because of the benefits that it has. And not only because of that, but also for the fact that you can, as teachers, create your own content and gamify them and make it more dynamic so that your students feel engaged by watching them. Because for you to achieve the objective of your lesson plan, of your classes, you have to keep your students motivated. Moreover, we are now in a digital era, and it's crucial to keep in mind that teachers need to come up with fresh ideas to the classroom because it is time to evolve. Thank you.
Thank you, girls, for your presentation. Let's continue with our next group because we are running out of time. This is our next presentation is Transforming Education in Search of Excellence by Grace de la Cruz, Darío Agrasal, and Jonathan Rosas. Grace will be introduced by Adeline.
So please stand up or sit down.
As you prefer, Jonathan.
Teacher, the first speaker is Darío.
Okay, Darío will be introduced by Naomi Bernal.
Allow me to pass the host to show the
second one, Grace.
Sorry?
The slides.
The second one.
Me, teacher.
Naomi.
Okay. Darío Agustín Agrasal works in Vaivén. His hometown is Rio Grande, located in Cocle province. Darío's alma mater is Mariano Prados Arauz High School. His personal goal is to finish his career in English. Darío's professional goal is to be a translator. His relevant achievement was going to another country, that is Scotland. Darío's hobbies are going to the gym and playing video games. His skills are listening, learning new things, and his area of expertise is leadership. Welcome, Darío.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to me to be here with you. It's a pleasure to me as well to share with you the tuning project. After the start, I would like to introduce the word tuning. The word tuning comes from the verb to tune, which means to tune, to agree, to temper, and refer mostly to the musical instrument. However, the project tuning is used in general. To make it clear this fact, the tool employer is something that is always looking for something new, looking for something new. It's like a process, and you always, and the tool employer always be like this. The tool employer has its beginning from Europe as a result of the challenge that we are facing today. As you know, I know as well, the world is changing, and we need to get more knowledge to face the new changing. The TWIN project is a drive that aims to foster understanding and cooperation among universities around the world. As we know, let me introduce how Latin American tuning project get here. It was until the end of 2004, tuning had been exclusive to Europe. But in the same year, the two Latin American project emerged. It was implemented in Latin America as an initiative of the university for universities that respond to the need that we need today. As we know, the new technology that we are getting today, we need to improve ourselves. We need to get more knowledge about how to work those technologies. For that reason, the two projects have some general objectives. The first one, to initiate the dialogue, to exchange information, improve, and build the area of higher education in Latin America. The second one, the project aims to advance the development of qualification that can be conferred and recognized in the region. Third one, the project as a reflection action of the development of a new dynamic approach. And finally, to promote the development of quality, efficiency, and transparency of educational structure. In fact, for me, the two projects is the greatest project that we can acquire because it's teaching us how to face the new technology that we are getting today. Now my partner gets.
As I said before, Grace will be introduced by Adeline.
Grace Michelle de la Cruz Santana is a 21-year-old dreamer and senior student of humanities with a major in English at Universidad de Panamá, Centro Regional Universitario del Coclé. She has a bachelor's degree in science from San Carlos High School. Grace was a teacher at the Sofia Quiroz School for her community service at the university. She's very creative and has a knack for transforming simple things into extraordinary ones just by using her hands. Her motto is, "It is better to give than to receive." Grace trusts in God to successfully complete her career and becomes a great professional. With us, Grace.
Thank you, Adeline, for that introduction. Now, continuing with the topic, I am going to talk about the methodology, which is based on 4 main lines of action. The first line are the generic and specific competencies. As regards generic competency, the aim is to identify share attributes that could be generated in any degree program and that are considered important by society. There are certain attributes that could that are sorry that are ability to learn, the capacity for analysis and synthesis that are common to all or almost all degrees. On the other hand, specific competencies as those that we acquire through the transmission of a series of contents that are related to the thematic or subject area. When I talk about thematic or subject area, I refer that if we are in the education, medicine, or business administration area. In our case, we are in the education one. Moreover, it is a major to mention that there are a third competency, and it is called basic competence. These are a combination of skills, knowledge, and attitudes that are indispensable to be able to have correct personal and social development. The second line is teaching, learning, the approaches of teaching, learning, and evaluation. In this line, to ensure that students attain the necessary competencies and learning outcomes, this project recommends a comprehensive set of visual materials that demonstrate the most effective teaching, learning, and assessment strategies. When our teachers implement new strategies in like didactic, these help some specific competencies such as teamwork, the communication skills, and others. The third line are academic credits. This line deals with the linkage of competencies with the students' work, its measurements, and connection with the time calculated in academic credits. And the last one is the program quality. This line assumes that quality is an integral part of competency-based curriculum design. Maybe at this moment you are wondering, what is that? Because the information is not clear, right? But don't worry, because I am going to explain it to you. 19 Latin American countries participate in this project. Countries such as Argentina, Chile, Panama, Mexico, Costa Rica, Brazil, Dominican Republic, and others. And you can appreciate it here in this slide because appear the another countries' flags. It was conducted at 181 universities. To Panama was a total of 85 higher education institutions, 36 for universities, and 50 institutes. In the public area was a total of 5 universities and 5 institutes. And for the private were 31 universities and 45 institutes. I can also mention that it was addressed 12 thematic or subject area, and I mentioned some of them before. There are business administration, education, medicine, mathematics, history, chemistry, architecture, and others. And for Latin American were 27 generic competencies established. And these competencies will be explained next by my classmate Jonathan, but he will only mention the 7 competencies considered the most important according to a survey of teachers, students, and administrative staff. With you, Jonathan Rosas.
Okay, Jonathan will be introduced by Lisette Gamboa.
Jonathan Walter Rosas Janwer is a young man from Anton in Cocle province. His alma mater is Salomon Ponce Aguilera High School, located in his hometown. His personal goal is to graduate from English school from the University of Panama, and his professional goal is to get a job as a translator or interpreter. His hobbies are listening to music, playing video games, watching films, and drawing art, both in physical and digital. His skills are learning languages, drawing art, and computing, and his areas of expertise are languages and computing. With us, Jonathan Rosas.
Yes, this is Jonathan Rosas, and we are talking about Turning America competences. The first one is abstraction, analysis, and synthesis. This is a competence when the student use abstraction, analysis, and synthesis to deconstruct the information and extract elements, for example, such as geography and history topics, based on empirical and conceptual research. Then they are categorized and compared with each other. After comparing with each other, they are categorized, labeled, classified according to the comprehensive form and analytical form, and can be reconstructed in existing new in a reconstruction of a topic. Ethical commitment. This is a competence where the person is subject and abide to ethical commitment, which involves behaviors, good behaviors on public, no discrimination against race, sex, politics of any kind. 3, interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills. This is an important skill in these competences because interpersonal skills allows to use talking, writing, and listening and speaking, both individually, one-to-one, and group, from group to individually, and vice versa, and group to group. The most effective skills in interpersonal skills are listening and speaking. Skills in the use of technologies. This is a very important competence because we are living in a rapid evolving world. The skills in the use of technologies is not only limited to using smartphones, computers, and tablets, which are hardware either, which are software either, because tablets, computers, and laptops are just hardware, like this, where I'm telling this speech from. Software, it can be told, the use of technologies, this can be told as software, networks, applications, and much more, and programs, and this includes software, networks, antiviruses, browsers, operating systems, and much more, which are included, are to be used in our smartphones, tablets, and computers. Ability to apply knowledge in practice. This is now a competence where the student is using the ability to apply knowledge in practice, such as solving problems, solving mathematician problems, solving riddles, and more. Commitment to the conservation of the environment. This is an important topic because we are experiencing climate change and global warming. Because of this, we decided to explain this more detailedly. Because in addition, this is a commitment to the environment which the person involved in this competence is raising awareness about climate change and global warming because of the rapid and constantly warming world. And in addition, they are conscious of burning less fuels, buying more sustainable items, using more sustainable goods and items, and using sustainable energy such as solar, aeolic, and water. Ability to learn and update learning. This is a competence when the ability to learn and update learning is an important one because we are rapid in a rapid evolvement in a world which is evolving fastly at a rapid pace, and we have to update our knowledge. This is a competence where the participants are used and subject to evaluation, and they have to participate to merge existing and new knowledge to keep them up to date. What is the key to ability to learn and update learning? The curiosity. It is a critical analytical object which lets us to try new things, try new forms of learning, and much more. In conclusion, Tuning Project nurtured and enhanced collaboration between higher and education institutes, both public and private, ranging from elementary to high and to university levels, as well as private institutions such as INADE, CENACYT, etc. The main objective is to change all educational paradigms into a more practical educational structure, such as not memorizing of it all, making more interesting and integrating elements such as gamification, which are previously explained by previous conferences, and incorporating virtual, mixed, and augmented reality to our education, which enrich the student ambience of learning and improve capability of students, professors, and administration of emotional educational institutions, which can be teaching the students, professors, and administrators of the Panama as well as Latin America of tomorrow. So, thank you very much. In addition, let's play with quizzes.
Yes, before to finish our presentation, we already prepared a play, and my partner George will help me to present the play because I'm using the cell phone and it is really difficult to me. In the chat appear the link, so if you want to participate, you can join. Quizzes is a website that allows us to create online quizzes that our students, if we are professors, can answer in 3 different ways. In a live game, like the previous one that was a Kahoot, as a homework, and the results are sent to the teacher, and individually just a game. Okay, let's start. The first question is to choose the Latin American countries that are part of the Tuning project. So you can select that you consider is or are the correct one. The second is the year in where when the Tuning project was created in Latin America. The third is how many subjects or thematic area was in the Tuning project established. The fourth says one of the competencies of the Tuning project is interpersonal skills. The answer is yes. And the last one is like a tricky one, that is the name of the speaker. Who is our winner? And Esmeralda.
Angie is the winner.
So clap for all of you and thank you for participating. Our winner of this game was Angie. The second place was Jonathan. And I mean that the third, I don't know who is. Thank you very much.
Thank you to you for your presentation. Then let's continue with our last
Recording
group.
stopped.
Remember
Recording
that
in progress.
we have another activity at 1 p.m. The last group the topic is gamification, turn your classroom into a video game by Anel, Ruben, and Juan. I guess this is the order. Anel will be introduced by Carlos Castillo.
Anel Hernandez is majoring in English at Universidad de Panamá, an English tutor at Barrios Panama Foundation. He took leadership without being in charge and leadership core trainings. He participated in La Investigación Cualitativa, un estudio a profundidad seminar. La voz y acción escénica by Festival Internacional de Artes Escénicas, and Cómo crear arte teatral by Universidad de Panamá. He is certified in building high-performance teams in hospitality by Dubai College of Tourism. The Fundamental of Digital Marketing by Google Digital Garage, and he is the winner of 2019 edition Samsung Solve for Tomorrow for Latin America contest. Let's welcome him.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Carlos, for that kind introductions. In today's world, our students are spending a lot of time in front of our screen and playing video games, we're just taking advantage of it. That's when it comes gamification into this game. In today's sessions with the other two speakers, we'll be talking about how you can gamify your classroom and turn into a video game. I know that it sounds insane and almost impossible to do it, but I'm pretty sure that we can just figure this out together. So before getting to the main gamifications element, let me make a pause to clarify what are those differences between these two, that even though when they are pretty close, they're not the same per se, because the first one, game-based learning, is uses actual games to be learning objective, because the students are just learning for playing these games. Meanwhile, gamification is adapting games elements into your courses. Those little things that we can see in video games, but now in our reality, aka your classroom. So I'm pretty sure that now you're clear about what is the definition of gamification. So let's see how can gamify your classroom. So as you know, guys, every student is different, every classroom is different, especially here, thanks to our Panamanian educational system. And every student is different as well in the terms that they're not thinking in the same. So the first thing that you need to do is going to be like your baby step, is survey your students, because this is the only way that you can find out which games they like to play and which game makes them lose track of time. For example, if your student love Minecraft so bad, you will want to implement some aspects that allows the students to be creative and also choose their own path, because this is how Minecraft works. A great example of how you can do this is implementing a point system, and there are endless ways that you can do this. The next one. Now, what is the first elements? It's called leaderboard. Leaderboards, we can apply this into 3 levels. And the first one is doing a simple participation of students based points on a student's participation. So you can put it on your Google Classroom banner or any platform that you have been using. Or if you are in a physical classroom, you can throw it up on a bulletin board. And if you feel that your class isn't really ready, what I mean by that is your students aren't really familiar with this leaderboards participation that it comes with that, you can always assign code names, because in that way their identity is hidden. Second level, just because participation is not enough, is pretty minimum, you can add others activities during your whole class, because in that way your students can have the others opportunities to earn these points. And then level up and get a reward. Rewards can be individual, like earning free time, extra credit, or they can pull their points together as a class and earning a pizza buddy or this buddy. I don't know, you guys. It's your decision. And the third level is turn these point systems into their grades. In this way, we can highlight the importance of the progress. And I have to say that this element is pretty useful when it comes to keep that motivation and engagement in the students. Thank you.
Thank you, Anel, for your presentation. Next participant is Juan, right?
Yes, teacher. Exactly.
Okay. Melanie Powell will be introducing Juan.
Okay. Juan Pablo Samaniego Melgar is currently working at Royal Decameron Panama Costa Blanca Hotel as Hotel Security Unit. He studied at Ribato Technical and Professional Institute, where he obtained a bachelor's degree in tourism. He participated in several seminars with the Peace course based on leadership. He taught English at San Juan de Dios Anton High School and classes with gamification methodology in the Red Cross Penonomé. He aspires to be a teacher or translator in the field of education or tourism. He is close to getting his bachelor's degree in English. His hobbies are listening to music, watching movies, and playing video games on his cell phone. He is a great listener and is very good at communicating with people. In the future, he intends to travel abroad to continue his professional training.
Thank you, Melanie. Okay, we're going to continue with our presentations. I'm presenting to you the second element that is called badge. We can also add badge into the classroom because many different games provide these elements, so we can use it and incorporate that into our classroom. Badge can be displayed in a bulletin board or a leaderboard. You can also give the opportunity to students to modify or create their own badge. They are pretty creative, and and this gives them the opportunity to do it. So what is needed to earn is something similar, like a reward that you're gonna get at the end of the semester or at the end of the class. When I was teaching classes at Red Cross, working with children, we realized that if you use this strategy, the children are going to pay you more attention if you are a theoretical or every single day doing the same tasks. So if you use games, they are going to be enjoying that class, and they are going to pay attention to you, and they are going to feel more comfortable. A third element that is called quest or task. We can create game in the classroom, and the first one idea is a scavenger hunt. Hunts are always really fun to add to the classroom. This can be done all right through the Google Forms. The second one that is called tags or questions, similar to a role-playing game, which allows gamers to choose their path and different outcomes based on their choice. They can choose their own adventure boot for a report that you can give them the option for a choice to choose fiction or not fiction. The number 3, tasks or questions. Students can be on the hunt for particular info on a current event or something that is going in your system community. You can even add in bonus points or bonus questions that at the end of the semester or of the year, you are gonna show a leaderboard in which every single student is going to feel that they are in a competition. And the last one is QR codes. So you can place QR codes in every single corner of your classroom, and using the cell phones, students can scan this and check some questions or some games that are going to be places, and they are going to be very entertaining, and this activity will be very fun. Also, they are going to be learning everything about that. So gamification is one of the strategies that you can use with children and students from the high school level. So thanks.
Okay, let's continue with our last participant, who is Ruben. He will be introduced by Melanie Enriquez.
Ruben Lopez is a young student from Penonomé, capital of the province of Coclé. He graduated from Angel Maria Herrera High School. Currently, he's about to complete his bachelor's degree in humanities with an emphasis on English at the Panama University. He has had the opportunity to participate in the program Panama Bilingual in the prestigious Anglia Ruskin University in the United Kingdom in 2019. a trainee abroad that provided new teaching methodologies through intensive English courses, seeking to improve the skills and performance of teachers and future teachers within the classroom. A phrase that characterizes him is that every single day we learn something new, no matter how insignificant it would be. Welcome, Ruben.
Thank you, Melanie. Okay, the last element that we will see today is to add gamification into the classroom with classic or digital games. So we are getting a little bit into game-based learning territory here. We can use classic and digital games in the classroom to help continue students practice and learning. We can use vocal bingo or Yahtzee or any of the digital games like Bamboozle, Phone Brain, Minecraft for Education, or any of the digital games that you find online can totally be used. Another game that you can play is the Wikipedia link game. So in this is going to help students to understand the connection between different things. So in your leaderboard, maybe you choose the top student to pick 2 random topics. Then the students need to go on Wikipedia and connect in the fewest links possible how one topic gets to the other. So students have to write out a sentence explaining how one link leads to the next link. So in this way, you will know that they are not just aimlessly clicking around Wikipedia. Sorry. To sum up this presentation, here I have some benefits that gamification provides to your classroom. The first one is engagement, because students become more engaged on their task. Ownership, because they take more ownership of their work. In addition to ownership, we also look at the voice and choice. Students have the ability to choose which batch they want to try to attend and go for, and they have the ability to take as long as they might need to achieve that batch. Another component is the recognition. Recognize your students for their work and how hard they have been working. So having that recognition in the leaderboard and giving students those badges somehow shows that they work hard to earn their spot. And the last one is providing feedback. So with that, you can check or monitor their students and see how they are doing as far as they progress toward badges. Moreover, students are able to help one another and get instant feedback from a lot of the platforms that we can use in the classroom. With all these helpful tips, I hope you have as much fun adding gamification into your classroom as your students have participated in it. There are many different opportunities and ways to do it, so go ahead and have fun and do what works for your classroom. Hopefully, as I said before, you will have more engaged, motivated, and confident students after all this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben, for your speech and for all of the other members of the group, as well as all of the different speakers from the different conferences. Thank you for your participation. We finished with our webinar. Very grateful to you guys for your commitment to the different topics given to you. So we finished this session and I'll be waiting for you at 1 p.m. with the conference with Dr. Alfonso. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, and everyone. Have a great day.